Hey guys, and welcome back to Castle Crush, and today we are going back to that time when I was in Champion League for a brief amount of time. I really just did this in an end of season push. I was like, I really want to get to Champion League, which is the purple icon one, and I just wanted to get there for the sake of it. So you can see I was using a deck I've used quite a number of times here. This was kind of back when I first started, using it a little bit. And this was the Valk Black Knight deck. Fire Elemental in here too. And this deck was pretty good for what I was doing, it felt like. You can see there I was using the Fire Elemental really as a counter to Necromancers. And this deck was working really well against most situations. And you'll see the one match I lost in here. Well, you'll see why I lost it, but it was against a rushing deck. But of course, rushing decks can really beat anybody on the right day. So that's kind of what you learn about that. But overall, this deck did a lot for me back then. It was really some of my highest level of playing, perhaps. Although I also just put a lot of time into pushing, because you have to invest a decent amount of time into trophy pushing, especially through that top, the upper 5,000s was pretty rough, and lower 6,000s as well. But you can see here against these opponents, I mean, I was really having the Fire Elemental do a huge amount of heavy lifting. That's my first reaction to this, is just remembering how much, especially on castle damage, I did with Fire Elemental. I was just, for the number of trophies I had here, though, I was just pushing through some of these players. And you can see the moment here where I got promoted to champion. And this was my highest number of trophies ever. Glad I recorded this. It was in a video a long time ago, but it hasn't really been shown recently, so I figured people might appreciate it now. Or might like to see it again, I guess I should say. Yeah, Champion 1. That was the deck I used. I've used that deck a number of other times since then, just because of how well I played with it. So definitely have always liked Valkyrie decks a fair bit. So you can see here, though, this person going in with a rushing deck. I jumped right in on them. They bring out the Skull Queen, just instantly jumping on these players. Very easy to get ahead of them with this deck, which is what I like. Pretty much the only decks I couldn't really get ahead of were rushing decks sometimes. This one was a slower one. This person was trying to rush with Skull Queen. There's some weird decks I went up against here, not gonna lie. There was a match I didn't include where someone was actually playing with Executioner. So there's some weird stuff. And that one I really just shut down their Skull Queen rush. This one this was the rushing match I ended up losing. And my impression here is I don't really know what I could have done better, but sometimes you just lose to rushing decks. You can see there I went right for the Reaper. I could have waited, but many times I've found that to be the right move, just because if they've just played it, they can't swap lanes usually immediately. They have to get some mana first to play the standard bearer. But I will say, these days I play a lot with Gust of Wind. This deck did not have Gust of Wind. I was waiting there, but they were doing too much damage to me, so I felt like I had to play the Spike Statue, and then I was stuck in a situation where I didn't have any cards to play there. And I think it really came down to, unfortunately, me playing the Shaman at the wrong... I should have waited. If I'd had a mana ritual or something, I could have put out the Valkyrie. Anyways, So, yeah, just sort of a quick reaction video, but as you can see, at one point in time, I was in Champion League. That was a pretty crazy time and a pretty crazy push I had to make to get there, but still really happy I was able to get there for at least a little bit of time. So that's going to do it for this short video. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about the video in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.